Hello, this is Rishabh Dhanika, and welcome to the original Rishabh. And today we'll talk about another video, which is about uh, it's gnocch gnocch. I don't know how to say it. It's knock knock notch notch. I don't know, but this Asian British user, she posted a video of her interaction with immigrant taxi driver, and that video went viral, and both sides, where one side is supporting her and the other side is not supporting her, like completely she got a complete backlash from that. So there's a guy who said, like, basically, I think he's Mexican or maybe Middle Eastern. I'm not too sure about it, like Spaniard. I'm not sure about it, but he talks about, like, his girlfriend being Chinese, and he kind of wondered where she was from because she kind of looks similar to the her Chinese girlfriend, and he can't make a difference between the Asian different groups. And to be fair, if you are not part of the Asian household, or if you're not part of the uh I would say general, like, if you don't have Asian friends around you, it's pretty hard to differentiate between like Southeast Asian, especially. I mean, you could differentiate between, even if it's even hard to differentiate between Indians, Pakistanis, Afghanistanis, and Middle Eastern people. Like, we all have, like, multiple skin tones, we have multiple eye colors, we have multiple hair colors. Like, one woman in Omegle thought that I was Irani for some reason, which I don't know. Think I'm look Irani. I just look like a brown Indian guy. But anyways, I think she thought I was Irani because of my facial shape and my nose shape, which is, I don't know. I've not been to Iran, so I don't know much about Irani. You see, anyways, so my point is, like, there are certain, like, groups, and that categorized as, like, they have common characteristics such as Indians, Middle Easterns, Pakistanis, Afghanistanis, uh, Uzbekistanis, and, like, there's a group of brown people that look similar, like, have a group. Have similar features. There's an Asian Southeastern group which will have similar features, such as, yeah, you can differentiate between, like, a Japanese, Chinese, and Korean person, because and Korean have very sharp features, and Chinese do not have that sharp features. But and of course you can definitely distinguish, like, if it's a general Filipino, you can differentiate between a general Filipino and the Korean. But they're actually, like, very good looking in Korea, like Filipino individuals, that you might actually not distinguish between a Korean and a Filipino. Like, they're that good looking. So I'm just saying that they have very sharp feature. They are Filipinos with very sharp facial features, which look like Koreans. So it's hard for a non-Asian person, or a person with non-Asian, like, with no Asian interaction, to actually distinguish between actual Asians. And, like, even brown people, it's hard to distinguish whether you're Bangladeshi, Pakistani, Nepali, because unless you actually know how their dialect sounds, like how they speak, like what's their traditions and stuff like that, or, like, in general, if you're not like accustomed with their cultures and stuff like that, you wouldn't be able to you hardly able to differentiate between, like, brown Asians, the Southeast Asians, and others, like, even white people. Let's say white people, keep white people in perspective. You can't tell that a person is American, Canadian, or, like, even from Europe, unless they speak and you know the particular dialect. Because I thought that a guy was from, like, Denmark, but he was actually from Bulgaria. I mean, I don't know each and every accent in Europe, so I barely know. Every accent sounds similar to me, unless, like, it's a very prominent in language. Like, I can distinguish between German and French, but, like, it sounds foreign to me. So I have been educated in German and French before, so I can distinguish between their tones. But to an uneducated person, who's like a person who's a taxi driver, who might not be that well educated and might struggle for jobs, and is not a native English speaker, he not may not be able to form sentences correctly and express his emotions or his humor correctly in a certain way, which might be taken offense by a person who is a like she's a native British girl. She is Asian looking. She has Asian heritage, but she's born and brought up in British. Like she's born and brought up in England. She has the English culture. She knows English. She acts English. So she has a better and she should have a better understanding and a better idea of how things roll there, and how a native non-native speaker can have difficulties expressing their thoughts, even as a person as me as a native person have difficulty like forming and for like formulating sentences and humors as fluently as a person who's natively born in the United States, or a person who's natively born in Canada, or like any English speaking country, and to them their language is much more fluent and they think English, they speak English. Whereas we think in our native language and we try to get the best translation that we can into the English language. So I think that's a huge difference of how the what we think and how it comes out is can create a different kind of impact on the person that's listening to us. So that's it, and let's not more stretch this topic without. Let's refer to the video itself first, and let's me show you what actually happened, and I'm gonna do side by side commentary and explain to you what all is going on in that video. So let's move on to the video itself. So actually she has removed her video from her original channel, but someone has re-uploaded this video on their TikTok. So I'm just gonna show you the video that has been re-uploaded. It's a 2 minute video, so just bear with me, and I'm just gonna do a breakdown of what she said and what I interpret as a non-native English speaker.
Excuse me, do you mind if you just drop me off here?
Why were you okay here?
Yeah. Just drop me off anywhere. Thank you.
Everything is okay?
Everything is fine. However, just in future, what you said to me was quite offensive about how you were trying to guess where I'm from because you think we all look the same. And then you said, oh,
Yeah, as I mentioned before, for a person who doesn't interact with a lot of Asians and has a minimalistic interaction with Asians, you might think that the person might look Asian. Even I, when I first introduced to Latino Americans, I thought the Peruvian people looked quite Asian to me. I mean, they had similar eye features, and I thought that the female that I was talking to was Taiwanese, but actually she was a Peruvian woman. So like Peruvian people have similar features to Asian people, because at the end of the day there were 4 or 5 major group of humans, like human beings that were had different characteristics and features, and they scattered around, reproduced, and they mixed up, they traveled different places. So at the end of the day, the eye shape feature, the almond eye shape, is a feature that can be commonly found in a lot of different groups. Mainly it's in the Asian community, but it's also present in the Latino community, it's also present in the Hawaiian community, it's also present in the various indigenous groups of Australia and America. It's not uncommon that the facial features that we think are actually Asian are not actually Asian, but can represent different communities. So I think people, as like he's not, I guess, well educated, and also on top of that he's not a native English speaker. So for him to communicate with a native English speaker and to express what he was like to speak out was kind of, I would say, I don't know if we should take offense to the people who were not native speakers. And on top of that, he is not trying to like say something offensive to her. He was just trying to make conversation while on his ride to drop her to the destination wherever she wanted to be dropped. And he didn't he and also the tone I feel was not that offensive. Like when you really want to offend someone and you want to use a harsher tone, the tone differently becomes different. It's like, oh, are you Asian? Which country are you from? Like the tone, that tone is the offensive tone, and the curiosity tone is different from the offensive tone. So I think a person who's communicating might understand much better than a person who's viewing it from a video itself. So that's also it.
I couldn't tell like where you were from, so because you look a little bit different. That's very racist.
But I didn't guess
Here's some proof I managed to get.
where you be. I said maybe you look a little bit different to them. Sorry, please don't get me wrong. My English is not as a perfect.
Yeah.
I My girlfriend is Chinese, and then I love the Asian people because they're so polite, so kind.
Right.
We do as a like, she like we do as a like like a joke. See, I said this my Buddha is her name, and then this is my girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, it's his relationship. He can make jokes on whatever he wants to. And yeah, Chinese people do follow Buddhism, so that's the thing. And he can call whatever his girlfriend he wants. So I'm calling his girlfriend his Buddha, and she's not getting offended. So it's his personal thing, and people shouldn't get secondhand offense from that. I mean, that's completely stupid and like a thing we should not be like a part of.
Please don't get me wrong. I love the Asian people. They're so polite.
Yeah,
they're
it
so
don't.
kind.
So there's
Please
a
don't get
difference.
me
Oh,
wrong.
no. There's a difference between you loving Asian people, and there's a difference between you saying that we all look the same.
Yeah, because you dumb fucking look all the same to the eyes of a person who has not seen a lot of Asian cultures. If a person has only met he only has a Chinese girlfriend, he has not seen other how other Asian people look. He just recognizes Asian people through the almond eyes, and you have almond eyes. So guess what, Sherlock Holmes? He will think that you're goddamn Asian, you're goddamn Chinese. He, the people who do not have exposure will think that you are Asian similar. I can understand that you might have your past trauma, your fucking whatever you had before. You can go get yourself a therapy. But like, if you're brown, people will think that you're automatically that the most common thing that they'll think that you're either Indian or Pakistani. You could be Middle Eastern, you could be Afghanistani, you could be any from anywhere around the world, but if you're brown, you will be generalized as Indians or Pakistanis. And if they ask you where you're from, you can just politely answer, "Oh, I'm from Philippines, or I'm from China, or I'm from Beijing, or my Indian heritage or my ethnicity is Asian." Or you could just say, "I don't feel like answering." End of conversation. He said sorry. You got your apology. Get the fuck out of the cab. Live your life. Enjoy your life. If you have some past traumas, maybe go to a therapist. I, I don't get these people, the people who try to act like the boy cried for the fox, because like if you keep on like using this racism card too much, the people that actually face racism might not get the attention that they want, because people like you make the viewers, the audience, so disgusted towards these kind of content that they will not view these kind of content even if there will be any true incidents. And that's kind of shitty for people who are actually facing racism in schools, in colleges, in workplaces, all around the world, whether they're Asian, American, brown, black, whatever fucking color your skin is. I don't care.
People, and there's a different. Trying to guess where I'm from. That's the key word.
So
To them, that's the key word.
so
To them, guess where I'm from because I look different to them. To them, that's the key word.
so sorry,
So
madam. Is it exactly because of the I don't have a perfect English?
no, it's fine. And like I
really
understand
sorry.
where you're coming from, but at this moment I don't feel comfortable in this car, and I'm gonna get another one.
I'm really, madam. Please forgive me. I really don't mean it about that, madam.
Yeah, okay.
If something be wrong, this company will fire me. And I have a daughter. I swear to God, I don't mean this.
Yeah.
Please forgive me. I swear to God, I don't mean of this.
Yeah, I
I'm
know,
really
like,
sorry.
I appreciate that you don't mean it from a bad place, and I'm not gonna say anything to the company.
Yeah, but
I just want you.
I do.
He picked me up from my house, so I have to choose between exposing him or exposing my safety worst case scenario. He picked me up from my house, so I had. What? How does it come to your safety? He's not robbing you of your money. He's not pointing a goddamn gun like you get pointed at when you're in America and just like, oh, give me the money, miss. He just said something that he felt like that you might look Asian, and a person who's not exposed as to Asian culture, I said before, might not know the difference between other Asians. I'm exposed to all Asian cultures, so I can just tell the difference between a Vietnamese, Taiwanese, Chinese, and other cultures. But I also faced difficulty when I didn't identify that a person was actually Latino American, where he actually had features that where she had actually had features that looked Asian, like Peruvian people. Some of the a lot of the Peruvian people look Asian. Like you can't tell the difference that they're actually Peruvian or they're actually Bulgarian. That like they have they have. I've told you like people have features that can be similar to other countries' features, and they can be like misrepresent, like misunderstood in some way or capacity. You can just say that, oh, I'm Chinese, end of story, or my ethnicity is Chinese, the end of story, or you don't feel comfortable sharing it. They say that you don't feel comfortable sharing it. Conversation ends. He just says sorry. You get off the cab. Done.
Wrong now.
No, no, no.
I really I don't know what to do,
That
madam.
I'm telling you, I'm not going to say anything to the company because I understand that you're saying it's a barrier of language. I
Yeah.
get that, but I'm just saying to you in future, just don't say
I
things
s-
like that
I
because
swear
it
to
is
God,
it's
I
very
don't
very
mean-
offensive
I swear
to
God,
us.
I swear to God, there's no meaning of this.
It's fine. It's fine.
Madam,
I've got a
now, I
I've got a
feel so
meeting.
bad
I've
now.
got a meeting to
But
go
you
to.
will get out because of me. I
Yes,
really
because I don't
sorry.
feel comfortable. I don't
I'm
feel
really
comfortable to
sorry,
be
madam.
here.
Please forgive
You have
me.
to respect my wishes. I don't feel
respect it.
comfortable. I'm gonna book an Uber, and
Please forgive me, madam.
it's all right. Don't worry.
Really sorry.
Thank you. I'm actually fucking raging.
Yeah, so the moral of the story is if you have past traumas, if you have past things related to racism, maybe go to a therapist. Maybe try to clear things out with a therapist. Maybe move to a country that is more prone to having more Asian people. Maybe move to Singapore if you feel comfortable. But you're living in a country where there are white people, and this is a goddamn immigrant. If you feel threatened from a goddamn immigrant, what we're gonna do when you're surrounded by people from their native country? What if 5 to 4 Brit people surround you and just start like abusing you, like saying slurs in Asian things? Uh, that's racism. Okay, when there's a person like when there's an individual that says it in an offensive way, you can set it from like you can understand from a tune. But when the person like says it from like a joking way, and he doesn't like say it like, oh, all of you Asians look the same because I have a Chinese girlfriend. You can understand from the tone that he's not a native speaker and he's trying to create conversation, and I understand you don't want to get into the conversation. You get off the cab, you did your share. I don't know how you didn't feel comfortable. You could have you feel that you were being attacked by a person who's not even a part of the native country. Then what will you do if that person was a Brit and he said, oh, you bloody Asians, you coming into our country and you trying to spoil our soil? If that kind of shit happened, you would be traumatized. You'd be crying on your feet at that time. You were already red hot, bro. You were like red hot already. I think yeah, I can understand that the trap driver might have been like sounded offensive. Maybe he will learn from this experience, but you need a therapist. You need a goddamn therapist ASAP. And thank you for watching this video. Hope you like this video, found this video interesting. If so, press the like button and don't forget to share with your friends and family. And I'll meet soon in the next video. Till then, peace.